I need a bad girl to make my homie lose his cool. I need a bad girl who love listen to the bad Ice Cube. I need a bad girl to make me wanna break the roof. I need a bad girl, boom chicka wow wow, sex on my roof.
Hey everyone, it's Miss Polly. It's wonderful to see you back. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. We're here to talk about healthy relationships, building good foundations. And I am Miss Polly. So if you're here to get some new information about different things, it can be just monogamous relationships, non-monogamous relationships, or poly specifically. You guys are in the right place to find it. I am currently working on my app so we can do one-on-ones. So if you guys are interested in doing one-on-one sessions and just building yourself up to be in a really great relationship or finding the right partner, let's work together to get that going. And if you're entering into poly or non-monogamy lifestyles, you also want to get educated and get more information. Those sessions are open for that also, and then you guys can watch my previous videos to get information from there. Some of them are a little lengthy. If you have the time to watch, or you're going to watch at home or in the shower, we're setting up different things so you guys can get that message out, because we really want to promote making good relationships and great bonds. And we also are pushing for people to really know what the poly life is and really understanding what it's about, so that when you see people who are poly, you guys will really be in a better, mindset when you meet people who are poly. When you see these new kind of families and connections, that you will understand them better and judge them less. So today, though, I have a question that came up this week. I wanted to touch base on it because it is a really good question, and I'm going to give you guys my point of view on this question. So the question was, why is it that poly people hang around lifestylers? Okay, so if you don't know, let's just start with the basics. If you are poly, you are really about the mental and physical connections. You're really into getting to know someone, wanting to build something with them on a relationship level. If you are in the lifestyles, there's different kinds of lifestyles, or even to open relationships. These kind of relationships, which are non-monogamous relationships, a lot of times will be where you maybe have a partner, a husband and wife. You're okay with swapping your partner. These usually tend to be more sexual. Lifestylers also have a kind of lifestyle where they're okay with having more than one partner, that they don't necessarily have a bond with, may or may not. And then what they do is usually have, the sex parties, all those things you hear about. BDSM kind of falls into that lane, different kind of fetishes and things like that. So when you start moving in, I bet hear about my life. When you start moving into the BDSM realm, what you really are moving into is different lifestyles and how people are running those. So let me just fix my light real quick. I don't know how in the world I did that, but anyway, if you are a person who is interested in those things, finding partners can be very hard when you are looking for a poly relationship and you're into lifestyles. And this is where the issue does take place, where people wonder, they're saying, well, I want to have, this partner and I want to have this mental connection, but I have to keep going to these lifestyle places and functions and events, and I feel like I'm not really finding anyone who's really into what I'm into. And this is why a lot of times we are fitting into those, those guidelines of alternate relationships and all that. So the best way I can explain this is when you look at communities like now I'm going to make sure I get it right. It's LGBTQ. Okay. When you look at their group, they started off real strong in lifestyles. And the reason why, also the same for poly, we are okay with seeing things that are different. Having two boyfriends, having one, girlfriend, one boyfriend in those communities, and being queer or being lesbian or gay, in lifestyles, they really accept you for what you are. So we're going to go where people accept us for who we are. We can be who we want to be, love who we want to love, and we're not going to be judged. That's why you see people who are in those other groups seem to mingle with lifestylers. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people who are into poly, the real big goal on a scale socially is that we can move out of the lifestyle category, just like the LGD, oh Lord, LGBTQ have, because when you move out of that realm, it then becomes the more normal. And then the standards for that were fine. So now seeing two guys, two women, that's not like something crazy to see. And then you're fine. But if you are in a situation where you have a boyfriend, two boyfriends, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, it's still strange. We are lumped into the lifestylers. And this is where we have to be for now. So as we start promoting what poly really is, demonstrating what healthy polying is, this is when it will start transforming that we're going to be in our own separate section or group. It doesn't mean you want to be segregated, but it's just make it normal. And then once it's normal, this is where we can go ahead and be a situation where, you're going down the street and you see someone with their two girlfriends and they're grocery shopping. You're not turning heads. You make it normal. And then people don't feel like they're hiding. And just like I said before, this is where the segregation needs to take place. There is separation. But when you're searching for partners and things like that, and if you don't want anyone to know what you're doing, a lot of people who are poly hide it. A lot of people who are poly who are married, this is a big thing, is married couples hide it. I'm not telling you, I just want you guys to know this, I'm not telling you to go public if you're not ready. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are people who are going through certain things in their lives and even through transitions, and this takes time, and so you will see them hiding. But this is the thing, poly people aren't just BDSM. You can be poly and BDSM. You can be poly and a lifestyler. These are also connected. But just like the misconception a while ago was that if you were gay, you were into these weird, freaky things, these anal things, all these weird group sex things, and that wasn't the case. The case was that you had to be associated with these kind of groups because that was the only place it was accepted to do those things. Same thing with poly. When it's not accepted, what happens is you have to go where those people who are going to accept you, or you might find like-minded people who are okay with multiple partners. This is the place to go. So you're going to see us mingle amongst lifestylers, but usually poly people don't want to have lifestyle partners because our minds aren't in the same places. Now there's solo poly and things like that who are a little bit more on the line of being close to lifestylers, and those are different situations. But for the most part, we were trying to find a mental connection, possibly long-term or short-term partners, but definitely not like a weekend situation, a fun summer fling. Those aren't what poly are being represented in that community of lifestyling. So we do want to separate ourselves. I'll let you know that what we are doing is healthy, and we gotta work towards that. But as we're working towards bringing out people who are poly and being able to represent poly in a positive light and let people know what it actually looks like and what a functioning, loving situation is right now, this is what happens. And so as we're mingling, you will see us mingle with lifestylers. It is just something that happens. But like I said, it's starting to come to light that a lot of people are poly. You'll see a lot more representation in it. I've seen some new things, like I went to the doctor's office and on the list was poly as an option for being married, single, and then it had poly as an option. These little things that you don't think about, that's wonderful. It also gives your doctor and people who are treating you or whatever a better insight of who you are, so they can treat you accordingly or help you, whatever that is. Of course, because I've had situations too, which is another video, but where I like to, when I was dating at the time, I would want a partner to have testing done and myself tested so they could see if it was going to be a situation where I may be intimate with him. My doctor, if they see that in the 6 months that I'm going to the doctor to get a test done twice, they may be like, well, what's going on? And that's why you may want to communicate with your physician I am poly, and so when I meet new partners, I like to have safe situations, or whatever the case may be. And if that's the case, then these are the things why I get tested more than someone who's just in a regular monogamous relationship. And that's something that takes place. So being open with those kind of situations really makes a difference. So definitely for the, like I said, that's another video, but this is why starting to have these little changes, seeing very positive poly relationships, in our communities, on television, all these things are really great. And it's just a big step towards being able to make it a normal thing. And so while we're moving towards that realm, though, it is most likely you're going to find more people who are poly in these locations of lifestyling or these kind of activities, because a lot of those groups or locations and things like that make it easier for us to blend and be okay with the choices we make, love choices that we make. So this is one of those things which we, like I said, will hope transition, but that's really the main answer for you guys. And I think that on the other side, just one more, because I don't want to make our video too long, but a lot of times I think there are people who are transitioning from one to the other. Lifestylers do tend, I think at some point I see them, if they start to want to have a permanent partner at some point, they start to look into poly. So once again, you're already in lifestyles and you're trying to transition to something else. That's kind of similar to what you're doing already. This is something you could transition into that's not monogamy or non-monogamous situation. So the transitions, I can see them overlapping and looking at each other because it's multiple partners. This is what the overlap is: multiple partners. It's just the intent of what we're looking for at the end of the intent and what we desire at the end of the day. We're looking for a long-term partner with mental connections and building, and they're over here more looking for maybe a sexual outlet, and maybe even having that fulfillment sexually with having different partners, different activities, whatever group in lifestyles that they choose to be in, and they enjoy that life of that freedom of making those choices. So if they want to see that something similar but still have a relationship with someone, they're at that point in their life, they may transition to poly. So these are some of the reasons why you might see that transition phase. So that's why people always really hang on the words, and I don't mean the words, the definitions of what we're doing. And sometimes it really, for me, I think it's just for defining what you are, so that people who are trying to date you or talk to you, have interest in you, are just trying to clarify what you're doing, so then they can kind of say, well, this is why they're doing this, is because this is how they date, or this is what they're representing. And so the identification really is there for that purpose, to identify if maybe I want to talk to you or not. So I've even done it like, oh, is someone lifestyles or not? And I may not want to date them because they're in lifestyles, because that's not something that I'm into. And I know the goal for you is more sexual, and I'm not trying to find a sexual partner at this time. That's not for me. And so then that's where the conflict takes place, and we usually don't end up dating. So those are really the main reasons why you see us mingle with lifestylers, and maybe that'll transition one day here soon. If not, in time to come. So the more we put that out there, if you guys are poly, you want to share your story, please do. Even if it's on YouTube, Instagram, share your story. Like I said, the more people see it, the more it becomes norm and not a surprise, and be able to represent it properly in our community would make a big difference, and make it easier for it to be a life that people can choose to live if that's what they like. So absolutely. If you guys would like to check out more videos like this, more tips, please check out, like I said, the rest of my videos here on YouTube. I also have a group, which is Miss Poly Right on Facebook. And I have my one-on-one sessions that we talked about. Subscribe, guys, so you can see some more content. And check me out on the other platforms. So I'll see you another time. You guys have a good day.